So I keep getting crickets in my house. I don't know why. I've never had a cricket problem before, but I looked it up, and apparently it's really bad luck to kick them out of your house. Like, you're not supposed to kick them out of your house, but like, what am I supposed to do? Like, let you stay here? Now there's like 36 crickets running around because I did kick out one, and let me tell you, I had a really, really horrible week after that. And now they're just running around. And I'm like, please move. I just want to make a piece of toast and you're in my way. And I open a cabinet and it's just like, oh, hey, cricket that I can't kick out of my house. Can you please just leave? I don't want to kick you out. I just want to ask you nicely to leave. My house is just infested with crickets. And there's nothing I can do about it.
I don't understand the kicking them out of the house thing, because like I just be stomping them motherfuckers, and that seems to work pretty well.
I stand by that bitch got roaches. she just thinks they're crickets.
she doesn't know what a roach looks like. She does. Yeah. She does have that like upper middle class white girl look to her. So like she might be staying somewhere that she hasn't seen those before, and now she's having this new unique problem that it is.
Mommy
amazing.
and daddy used to pay for exterminators.
Right. It is amazing how often like you'll have videos of basic white bitches that just don't understand how the world works, and it's like them being exposed to real life for the first time, and they're just like have no idea what's going on. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man, there is some sort of extended adolescence these days. I mean, my mom made doctor's appointments for me much further into my adulthood than I'd like to admit, organized all that shit. But, I mean, in fairness, like I was under her insurance. So, maybe she had the easier. Stop, Morty. Sorry. I got dog in stereo here. But yeah, she was handling the health insurance. I guess maybe I've got a little bit of an out in that. But
yeah, I mean,
what else? Yeah, still a lot of other stuff.
I'm trying to remember what it is. It's like 23 or 24 is like the cutoff for how long a parent can carry you on their insurance. So.
It was 26 as of the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare. Or whatever, they bumped it up to 26.
And say when I was, when I was 23, I had a collapsed lung, and found out that was when I got dropped off of my parents' insurance. So I didn't have insurance and had a 4-day stay in the hospital with a collapsed lung. And they're like, "Oh, by the way, you got this $20,000 bill." I'm like, what?
There was something before the Affordable Care Act moved it to 26. There was something like where if you were in college, you could stay on at least in Florida, you could stay on your parents' health insurance. So that was one of the main reasons I even just half-ass went to like community college for like a few years, was so I could, have health insurance for a bit longer. Because I think it was 18, you were off unless you were in college. Maybe it's just a health plan or whatever that my mom had. I don't know. But yeah, it was the other loophole. So I went without health insurance for a few years until like the Affordable Care, until bummer got in there, and then I was on until 26, and then I went several years without before I managed to get it. We got we got a plan at the job I was at, so I was able to get it back for a bit. And now once again, a ward of the state.
It's one of those things that like if you got kids, it's pretty valuable to have. But like for me, I don't ever go to the doctor, and I would just as soon die as go to the hospital for anything. So like not having insurance wouldn't be that bad, except that they require it like everywhere. Like I can't opt out of it at work. It's like you have to have insurance, or you have to prove that you have insurance somewhere else. It's like, can I just like not do either of those things?
Well, I'm not understanding like these don't. Well, they might be bringing them back, but like the catastrophic kind of thing or something. Because if you're like young and healthy, like me, I had like heart conditions, you know? So I'm like, oh yeah, like I needed expensive shit, you know? And there's, of course, my bitch would be there's no good private options that go around the insurance industry where we could actually get affordable, you know, actually affordable healthcare, you know, not like the, you know, the name. But anyhow, but yeah, man, because if you're like young and healthy, dude, I mean, you don't need to be spending hundreds of dollars a month, but it'd be nice to have something for that 1 in a million chance that, you know, you do get something horrible or get an accident or whatever, you know, or maybe even instead of just like health insurance, if there was, maybe it'd be wiser, or there could be like a popular option for some sort of, you know, a little better like disability insurance or something if you're a young male, because that's what's important is you got to fucking work, you know, and you tend to use your body for work when you're young. So having some sort of, you know, insurance where if you hurt yourself, you know, what have you, I don't know. What up, Trey? Come save this podcast.
Oh God, we're talking about health insurance. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, man. It's we're really running into the ground here. So I don't know what you got going on.
I don't even know
Like,
how.
actually, I just got the phone with health insurance.
I don't even know how we end up going down this road.
Because we were talking about Cricket Lady, extended adolescence, and my parents making making doctor's appointments for us. And then the ins and outs of extending health insurance throughout your 20s. Yep. It's a show for our young listeners.
It's funny. I was double covered on my parents because of the, like, even though I hated the you know, the Obama care kind of rulings, they did allow me to stay under my parents until I was like 26. So I was kind of double covered there for a while. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm not a fan of the Obamacare, but it really has kept me in health insurance up to this day from like the age of like 24. So, you know, like, it is, if they get a better system where I don't have to leech off of the government, great, you know, but, you know, until then, it's the one social program I use.
That's the one industry, which I guess I don't know if it's the feedback mechanism of like them buying out government or vice versa, or like the government subsidizing them, whatever.
I don't know what you're about to say, but yes.
But yeah, I mean the health insurance and healthcare industry.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, it's tied into the chemical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, obviously, and then, you know, that is also tied into like defense. I mean, it's just, you know, it's the big systems, and, you know, like, I sound like a real hippie and say it's not healthcare, it's sick care, but I mean, that's fucking true. You know, like, we're the unhealthiest fucking people. So I'm not saying that they deliberately make us sick with poison food so then they can quote unquote treat us, but it sure does work out well that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of health, rest in peace, Val Kilmer. He is,
shit! I thought he was dead. Like, I thought he died a while back.
Nah.
Because I know he's had the cancer thing for a while.
I think he was. I think he was winning, and then finally lost.
When the new Top Gun, I think they maybe had him say like a line, and he had like a scarf on his neck or something. It was it's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, obviously, fucking Doc Holliday. I mean, got to be the best fucking thing ever. You know.
Yeah.
Well, and he was Batman in one of the Batman movies. He was like not as good as Keaton, but not as bad as George Clooney. Like, he was an acceptable Batman.
George Clooney.
He did a fine job as Batman. You know, the blonde Batman was a little bit stretched, but otherwise, like, he was a fine Batman. Mad Mardigan in Willow. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid.
Oh, I didn't know he was in Willow.
Yeah.
I feel like we saw him in something recently, but I can't. Something old, but I can't remember what it was. I feel like he was kind of the butt of some jokes in Hollywood, but I don't really know why. I saw he was a fine actor. Did you hear Val Kilmer died, babe? Did you hear Val Kilmer died? Yeah, that's a bummer, huh? Yep. Well, that sucks.
Apparently, he did a lot of voice acting that I didn't even know he did. He voice acted some video games and stuff.
Top Gun, the
Yeah.
video game.
Did you ever play the Top Gun video game on the
Like the Nintendo one?
Yeah.
No, I heard it was like impossibly hard though.
Oh my
That's pretty
god!
rough.
Like, okay, you might manage to take off, and you might manage to find some enemy planes, and you might manage to, like, a lot of it was just flying around trying to figure out where they were, and you might shoot some down, but there is absolutely no way you're landing back on that or on that aircraft carrier whenever you get done with your mission. Like, you're going to mission fail at the end because you are not going to stick the landing.
Crash every time.
Every time,
Yeah,
every fucking time.
Some games used to be so hard. I think we were talking about like playing N64 or something recently. Was that on the show? And going back, old Wayne got his fired up and got a bunch of games. We're all excited and we're trying to play it. And we're like, this is so fucking hard. Like, it wasn't this hard when we were kids, but I don't know if we're just spoiled on better graphics and controls now, or what. Like, Mario Kart was tough. Cruising USA was like impossible, dude. The pod racing game.
You guys are forgetting.
Star Wars pod racing.
You guys are forgetting the movie Heat. It's a heist movie. Has one of the greatest shootout scenes ever. Val Kilmer was in there.
Yeah, Heat's good. Yeah, it's a classic.
And if you like the goofy Zucker Brothers humor, like Airplane or Naked Gun, he was in like a James Bond music knockoff parody called Top Secret.
I don't remember this.
He plays like this Elvis type singer that has to like go undercover and spy, and it's got like goofy hijinks like you would see in a Naked Gun movie.
Wow.
I've never heard of that one. I just started watching a Hot Shots Part Deuce, and that was seemed way better than the first one.
Oh yeah.
So for a crummy sequel of a crummy movie to be better, but it was actually decent.
Was that the first one or the second one of those where the guy's like, war, it's fantastic. Here they blow up some fucking Asians.
I do remember that from part 2, so I don't remember it in part 1, but it was definitely in part 2. Or part 2.
Did you guys ever see The Ghost in the Darkness?
No.
Based on a true story. It's Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. It was based on a true story. It's when they were trying to build the transcontinental railroad through Africa, and these lions got like the taste for human flesh, so they just started jacking workers in the middle of the night. So they basically hired like these two, hired like Val Kilmer to come and help be a marksman, and they it's fucking cool.
Not Cecil.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that. I have seen it, but I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yeah, it's got like a slight horror movie vibe to it a little bit, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, because they're basically being like hunted by lions in the middle of the night in a fucking jungle.
Yeah.
Sort of.
That's pretty dope.
Another movie I liked of Val Kilmer's was The Saint.
That one was like critically panned, and people acted like it was a terrible movie. But as a kid, I thought it was great.
I liked it. Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Granted, that was as a kid, so like I didn't have a really high standard for movies. As long as it entertained me, then I thought it was like one of the best movies ever made. I wasn't putting a whole lot of in-depth analyses into movies as a 10-year-old.
Just got to have them pretty colors.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, like I think that's a lot of what's frustrating about like the movies suck now. Like, but also I feel like now we're way more critical than what we would have been whenever we were
so
we're too spoiled.
I love horror movies, and I don't need a horror movie to have a great plot or tell a great story or to make sense. Even I just need it to be a good horror movie that has some good jump scares, at least is engaging and entertaining. Like I'm not looking for Gone with the Wind from horror movies. Horror movies are fucking abysmal. Like, they are barely watchable. I can't, like, I feel like I agree with you that we do kind of raise our standard to what we expect from a movie, but also for something like a horror movie where I have the lowest expectation possible and they still fucking suck. It makes me think that maybe we're not being overly critical of all the other stuff too.
Yeah,
Maybe we're not being critical enough. It's like
another movie that nobody saw that I remember liking of Kilmer's was in called Wonderland. It was basically like
that's one we saw recently. Yeah.
It was like a more truthful version. Like Boogie Nights is kind of like a parody of John Holmes's life, but then this one's actually based on John Holmes. There's it's like a crime serial killer, I don't know, drug movie.
Yeah, it was like an incident, but yeah, like different tellings of said incident, I guess, you know. Yeah, lots of drugs. Yeah, we saw that one relatively recently. Not terrible. Tense.
Camping is intense.
Yeah.
camping isn't.
He was Kilmer was in Alexander, the movie
fucking
about
wiped that
Alexander the
movie
Great.
from my mind.
Yeah, I've never actually watched it. I have sat down to watch it twice and I've fallen asleep. I've seen sporadic bits and pieces where I would wake up, realize it was still on, and then fall back asleep. So I've seen about like six. I've seen about 6 different 5-minute segments of the movie, but I've never actually seen the entire thing.
The ones that always end up in your YouTube Shorts algorithm.
Probably.
I've been getting a lot of Kingdom of Heaven clips. You know, that movie about the Crusades.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Sean and I were actually talking about some movies that I have in my collection, and like I was just making casual reference to them, and he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I've never seen that." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't seen that." I'm like, "I own it." What do you mean you haven't seen it? So, at some point, he and I are gonna have to sit down and start watching some movies that I've got that apparently I have neglected to share with him.
Joe
Katie and I watched.
That's a good.
Katie and I watched the original Hellraiser a while ago, and Sean watched some of it with us. I think he missed the beginning of it and came in about halfway through. I think he and I were talking about that on the way to school this morning. I think Clive Barker's universe that he creates for his movies and his different stuff is pretty interesting. The movies are usually pretty campy and goofy and weird, but
can I be honest? I had a hard time following the Hellraiser movies. I don't know.
Well, after the second one, they kind of go off the rails, but
okay. Well, because it's kind of like supernaturally and isn't it like hell and this and that and the other. Hellraiser, I guess that's the name of the movie. But I don't know. I have a hard time following stuff like that. I need the rule book for the magic. You know?
Oh yeah. Like
it seems like stuff just happens.
When they start breaking, they just start doing things, and they don't explain how it works or whatever.
Yeah, and it's a lot of just supernaturally stuff. I know I talk about this all the time, but I have a hard time with it because I feel like I need a rule book for how the demons work and how the this and the that, and you can put this across pretty much especially any I don't want to say religious thriller, but basically any story is light versus dark, good versus evil kind of thing. But when it gets a little, I don't know. I need a set rule book. I need to know how it works. So I have a hard time with those. Even the X-Files episodes that are like that, I don't care for them. Give me aliens. I can wrap my head around aliens.
There's something I watched. I rewatched The Cell recently. Have you ever seen that? It holds up.
What? I feel like we watched that recently, but I can't remember what it was about.
There's this guy who he's a serial killer, kidnaps women. He has some episode where he goes into a coma. So they got to go in Inception style into his mind. So they can figure out where he's hiding this last girl because she's on a timer in like a tank of water that's going to fill up and drown her, just, within a certain amount of time. It's got
Ooh,
Jennifer
exciting.
Lopez, Private Pile from Full Metal Jacket plays the serial killer, and what's his name? Vincent D'Onofrio, and then
Yep. Old
Vince Vaughn's in
D'Onofrio.
it too.
Oh, no way. I don't know. Maybe we did watch that. We watched a lot of movies.
Vincent D'Onofrio has been in a lot of stuff. Like he's a very versatile, like really good actor. Like one of those that may not have the name recognition, but you've seen, like when you see him and stuff, you're like, oh, he has for real been in a lot of stuff. Like Gary Oldman, like he's been in a ton of stuff and super versatile and does all kinds of different characters.
Tiptoes.
And stuff. Like
he plays it.
Midge face.
He plays like a wigger drug dealer in True Romance.
Oh yeah, he's Drexel.
Yeah.
Well, we were watching Tiptoes. The wife was telling me, she's like, "Yeah, that's Drexel," and I'm like, "No, the fake midget here is fucking Scarface, fucking Drexel." Nope. Yeah, that's nuts.
Speaking in a British Jamaican accent.
Yeah. Oh shit!
That was actually considered Tarantino's first movie before his first movie because they wouldn't let him direct it, but didn't he write the script for it?
I remember being told by my buddy who was a big Tarantino fan when he was like, "Oh, here, watch this. It's good." He told me it was his first movie, but I didn't know the details behind it or whatever.
Well, it's got that great scene with Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken where Dennis Hopper's like he's being like tied up and interrogated, and he's like telling him
good.
Where Sicilians come from.
Good. Yeah. So tell me, am I lying? You know what? I will take that Chesterfield after all. Oh yeah, dude. That's one of my favorite scenes in like fucking anything, dude.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken, another very good all-around actor.
Yeah, he used to play like a lot of these menacing characters, and then he just kind of started just playing himself.
Meme. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because he was
comedy stuff and this and that, but yeah, good all around.
He's in King of New York. I'm trying to think of what other gangster movies he's in. He was in what's the movie where the guy survives a train crash and gets like superpowers, like mental powers?
I haven't seen it, but are you talking about Unbreakable?
No, that's Bruce Willis.
Phenomenon.
Not The Shining. No,
Phenomenon.
That's John Travolta, I think.
Oh no, that's where he hit my life.
We started watching Urban Cowboy. Speaking of John Travolta.
Ooh.
Yeah, we haven't finished it though. It's something.
Yeah, it is.
You're not going to ride that bull. All right, now I'm riding that bull. Now you ride that bull. Now get off that bull. I'm riding that bull. Oh man, that's half the movie. Just so y'all know. Oh shit. Man, we really had 9 degrees of Kevin Bacon this thing today.
Oh, The Dead Zone. That was the movie, The Dead Zone. With Christopher Walken.
I remember that one.
They made a TV show out of it afterwards, starring one of the kids from Weird Science.
I think I remember the TV show, not the movie.
Well, I really am Kevin Baconing here. Anyway.
So speaking of great underrated actors, how about John Lithgow? Huh?
Oh yeah, he's good.
That guy. Talk about some range.
He's the best
great serial killer.
Yeah. You're about to say Dexter?
Yep, Dexter. Excellent. And then we just watched Shrek the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, he's the king in Shrek. Yeah.
Well, and when you go from his character in Third Rock from the Sun to his character as the Trinity Killer in Dexter, it's like, is this the same dude? Like, wow.
Yeah, because back then, especially, I remember seeing it go, wait a minute, John Lithgow's not supposed to be I was like, that can't be him. He's a funny guy. Can't be him in Dexter. Yeah.
Remember Harry and the Hendersons? He was in that.
I feel like that's what people do, though. I feel like Dag, you said that triggers something for me though. I think that's why they get typecast into a lot of roles is because people do like what you just said. Is they're like, hey, that guy's supposed to be the funny guy, and like even if they kill it, even if they crush it in a role, but they're like the person's mind is already set that like this person is a funny guy, and that's what kills.
It takes a good talent to actually be able to break out of that.
So the dude that played the bad guy in Kick-Ass and in the first Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr.
Mark Strong.
Yes, Mark Strong. So he gets typecast as that all the time. And there was actually an interview with him where he talked about that, where like he and his son have kind of embraced that he's the bad guy. So like he has accepted his typecasting as that character and really leans into it and tries to make the character be the best bad guy that it can be. Like if this is the role that I'm going to play forever, then I'm going to play it like as well as it can be, where the people like either think that you are the worst bad guy ever and they're so happy that you lost, or they sympathize with you and they're like, oh, he was just like a normal dude. Shit went wrong.
I got a Mark Strong hot take. He was a good Sinestro in Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. The first half of the movie was all right. Then it just went off the rails.
Okay.
Yes, it had promise. It had promise. It did not have delivery, but it had promise.
And I think who did the voice of Kilowog in that? Was that like the big black guy werewolf from Underworld? I can't remember. I don't know. Wow, I'm really deep cuts here.
John Coffey?
No, not it was him. The big jacked werewolf. Remember Lucian, the leader of the werewolves, the Lycans? Like it was his right hand man.
Oh man, I'm not sure who the actor is though.
Was he the same one that played Michel in Dodgeball? This is my fitness consigliere, Michel.
Fitness consigliere.
What is that guy's name? Yes, I know who you're talking about, and I can't.
I think they're the same guy.
My job is a tech support guy named Blaze.
Nice.
You're like Laser and Blazer and all the Azers.
Nitro. We're getting the whole American Gladiators back together. Dude, a guy I work with, his dad actually was on American Gladiators, and his dad played like D1 sports. And you can go on, like, I have to find the clip. You can go on YouTube and still find it of him. Like, do you remember the football game where you had to like run and they put the footballs in the basket and the gladiators are trying to tackle you? And dude, he freaking lights up Nitro and knocks him out of the TV show. Because they didn't have I don't think they really had full pads on. They just had like those little rinky-dink helmets.
We need a
I always thought it'd be fun to.
I agree.
That was it. I was gonna say, I thought it'd be a fun party idea to have play like the old gladiators, but you gotta bet on them, but you can't just red or blue, but you gotta flip a coin, because otherwise it's just whoever's got the black team, they're gonna win. But gamble on some gladiators, all the episodes you're not going to remember them.
That's awesome.
Well, we were a couple years ago we were watching some of them, me and Wayne, and we're like, oh yeah, we're talking about it'd be great, and then we're like, oh wait, as we're watching, we're just like,
we lost like half of that, Doug.
No, sorry.
I gotta hop off here. I've got to. I'm showing this house again tomorrow, and I got to get the yard clean before that guy shows up. And it's supposed to rain this afternoon, so I only have this morning to do that. Yay!
Fun times.
I need to sell this.
Head out. We gonna wrap today.
Yeah, because I'm probably about to lose service here when I get down the road a little bit.
Oh hell! Well, it's been fun.
It's a short ramble. Okay.
We've been down a bunch of rabbit holes, just proving that we are really just a bunch of retards.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.